Hi, welcome to this short workshop and introductory to what's next. So what do we mean by what's next? So this is all to do with our lives basically, and if we really look at our lives, we're always searching, if you like, for this happiness. We're looking for the meaning of our life, in other words, what's the purpose of our lives? And also the identity that outside of oneself. In other words, what's the big picture? What's all the purpose or meaning of life as such? So if we look at all these things, and if we look at our lives, when we're younger, obviously, we learn through basic needs and basic things in life. We learn through schooling, we learn through our education, our peers, our parents, our friendships, and obviously then we go through school, we go through college, we may go to university, we may just start work, and then obviously we're experiencing, we're experimenting, we're going through all of these things. So that's why in an early part of our life, we're not really understanding or realizing that we're still searching to these deeper meanings of life. And obviously we get to an age and we think, well, we've experimented with this, tried that, you name it, we've tried it, and there's still, that doesn't really create our overall happiness. It doesn't give us a true sense of purpose. And also, we start seeking or searching for the deeper meaning of life. Now, most of the time, most of this is in sort of covered up as well, as I said to you, by or achieved in part by our work. It might be our work situation, it might be our friendships, our socializing, hobbies, certain interests in our lives as well. It might even be by shopping, retail shopping. A lot of people get their happiness through that. Well, they think they do. Some people don't, obviously. Eating out might be a thing that we get. Watching sport or watching certain entertainment or going seeing certain entertainment. Now, all of these things that we actually do normally in our life, for most, are like mechanisms that are used to divert or an opportunity to distract our attention mainly from ourselves. So we don't really look at ourselves. A self-assessment, looking at where we are, who we are. We don't like looking at our life and our situations in life. So this is the norm with most people. We don't look at our own emotions and own thoughts. So where we are now, we bury ourselves in our lives and we become busy. In modern day society, life is very busy. And a lot of the time we keep busy because we don't want to look at ourselves. So this situation in isolation at the moment and the way we've been, it's made people or forced many people to face oneself and look that we avoid. We avoid ourselves most of the time. We're in situations and in a household or family units where everything, if you like, is being intensified with oneself and the people around us. And there's straightforward that where two objects come together and there's movement, there will automatically be friction. So this is why a lot of things that you may have seen on TV or reading and what have you, a lot of people's emotions are being intensified quite tremendously. Because a lot of at the moment, we're being forced into this position and looking at ourselves. So is this time an opportunity or is it chaos? Some it's an opportunity to a level of degree, some it's an extreme chaos. But it depends where we are and where our happiness is, or, if we're looking at certain things. So life is about self-honesty and accurate perception, looking at life accurately, if you like. And most of us don't do that under normal situations or circumstances. So this is why many people are struggling. So if we take it, why are you unhappy? Why are you struggling? Most people will say, well, it's because of the pandemic. Yes, that's a macro aspect. But then you've got to break it down. Look at all the things where certain needs might not be met in certain avenues or certain areas. We all need many needs to basically as an umbrella to encompass all of our lives, to help us in our lives. So accurate perception is a very, very good thing, or a necessity, if you like, of what really we need to be doing to achieve these goals. Now, if any of these needs and objectives aren't met, then, as I say, it causes a lot of problems and a lot of issues in our lives. Now, meaning that if we just basically put it under 4 categories, one is your health, one is your relationships, then there's finance, and then there's spirituality. So these 4 aspects is really what encompasses everything in our lives. So if we take the first thing, if we look at health, now this means not only physical health, but psychological health. In previous lectures, we've talked about the aspects of medical science. If they look at then damaged tissue, they can address the aspect of that. That's why then they can help you if they find damaged cells or damaged tissue, then that's the cause of your pain or your problem. On psychology, on the other side of things, they're looking at, why we create thoughts, emotions, stress, anxiety, fears, and so on. But at the moment, there isn't like a bridge, a thing that brings those two together. But they really are integrated. And to give you a very, very simple understanding, if I take this lolly stick and we look at our health, your thoughts and emotions are the key factors to your physical health. So, simple as this. It's made by wood, but if you go a bit deeper, it's molecules. Now, if I put each end of this lolly stick under pressure, like this, I can bend it. But as long as I keep that pressure within the constraints of the molecules, the lolly stick will go back to its original state. Now, if I then apply a stress on each end of this lolly stick, and I keep going and I stress and I put the molecules under stress, eventually it will snap, it will break. Okay? Now, what's then the difference between the lolly stick and our body? There is none. What causes stress or anxiety or fears is simply the thoughts and emotions that we create within us. Now, in this intense period in time, particularly, we're overly creating too many negatives. So this will cause a stress into our body in certain key areas and pockets within our body, and eventually something will snap or break, like the lolly stick. That means then our physical health will also be then affected. It could be a pain in the neck, could be a pain in the back, it could be a lot more. Other things can go wrong. So conditions are arrived due to the emotional content within us. So health is not only physical, but it's also emotionally and mentally is very, very important. These are one of the key factors to your health and to your happiness. Also, there's a deeper meaning to this as well. You can't just have a healthy diet and exercise, because some people have a very good diet, good exercise, but the body's still not working correctly. Then they start taking vitamins and try to do all sorts of things to keep their body healthy, and it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? It's mainly down to key emotions that are affecting it. So that's 1. 2, then if we look at our relationships. Now, relationships at the moment, obviously you might be in a household with someone, it intensifies. You're looking at then maybe the weaknesses within each other. You're looking at them doing all the wrong things. They keep on doing that nasty little habit, and it's really now starting to bug you. And now you intensify looking at it. So relationships that way. Then there's a wider thing that we need relationships. We need to have a deeper understanding, a wider aspect of community. We are a sociable animal. We need these things. We need our privacy, but we also need to socialize. So again, these are the key factors in our relationships. Is a very important thing. Either too much intensity or not enough diversity as such. So relationships is a big factor in the key mechanism of happiness and looking at the bigger picture. It's also looking upon people and understanding the way they think, the way they feel. Why do they react to the things in their life? Well, you look at things and think, well, why are you reacting in that way? So there must be a key factor that helps you not only to have a better relationship, but to have so you've got to be more understanding of others. Why do people react and behave the way they do? So it's a very, very key factor. The next one is your finances. So finances mean your job security, your life, the way you live your life. Now, a lot of people think, well, this is my job, this is all I'm capable of, and that's it. But really, financial and jobs and how and what you do, we only reflect on our past, but that's what the mind can do. But we can do so much more and we don't realize it, but we base it on our education or lack of education, what we think we're comfortable with or we're secure with. All these sorts of factors come into play. So this is why we're saying, well, this is my job, I'm really not capable of doing that. We're capable of wondrous things, amazing things. And our boulders, or our barriers, if you like, are only within ourselves, within our minds, not necessarily external factors, internal factors. But we must look at these and accurately look at these things and perceive them accurately. Okay? Also self-honesty. Then we go on to spirituality. So spirituality isn't just about meditation or yogic exercises and things like that. Being spiritual is much, much, much deeper than that. So for instance, if someone's basically achieved a lot of things in their life, and I don't mean just with their career or with this or with that, I mean inner truths or inner achievements. In other words, their emotions are more refined and they can see the truths beyond what their eyes or our conditioning allows them to see. They become very grounded. Now, if you're very grounded, a true meaning for this being grounded is meaning that you're very dynamic. A person can be very dynamic. Then going from on this, if you've refined a lot of your emotions, in other words, you've negated a lot of fear, anxieties, and lower emotions out of your system, then courage is a very key factor for success in your life. A true meaning of courage. Persistence is another one. So if you've refined your emotions, you find that a lot of people are very courageous, lack of fear, but more understanding. Now this comes with the next part, is intelligence, intelligent mind. Now, intelligence is not based on your past. It's based on the aspects of what is truly achievable within your goals of set out within this life. Now, that is only restricted mainly by your mind, by your emotions, by your thoughts. So a lot of things can be achieved on a very, very high level beyond your wildest dreams, but it's learning the mechanism of how that's achieved. The last part of this of being deeply spiritual is a person that's highly intuitional. In other words, they have the vision of life beyond what their mind allows them to see. So they can see the truths, they can work towards those truths, because we all need goals. We need to have objectives. We need to have something to work towards. And if a person's highly intuitional, that's why you see certain business people and certain areas of certain lives, that they have an intuition that this will work. They run with it, and sure enough, it works. Your mind does not know your future. It only knows your past. So how is all this achieved? This is true spirituality. It isn't just about meditation, but meditation is one particular mechanism of your life to try to help to achieve that. part of the yogic techniques is one area to try and help you to achieve that. So there must be a package, there must be an answer to all this, of which there is. So spirituality is being dynamic, courageous, also good-hearted. There's one thing I didn't say. So good-hearted means that you not only think of yourself, but you also help and think of others. Then you're using your mind in a way that's very, very highly evolved. So your understanding of life becomes more and more attuned. Then highly intuitional, so you can see the futures that you can work towards. So this is the aspect of being spiritual. So all these key factors of health, relationships, finance, spirituality, the 4 key factors in anyone's life. Okay, so understanding all these things, then what we're going to do is to help, we're going to provide a workshop for everyone that all of you can achieve all of these things and much more beyond your wildest dreams. There's lots of classes and courses and teachings that give you a little bit of this or a bit of this or a bit of this, but there is a package that can give you all of these factors, and we're going to help you to give the long-term effects of happiness, success, and lots of goals in your future. How do you obtain them? They are achievable. There is always an answer to your question. There is always an answer to what's the purpose, what's the meaning. You know, and I was no different than anyone else. I was searching this, and a lot of answers have been given to me and obtained, and I'm, you know, that's why I'm here talking to you all, to help you all to move forward in your life, to achieve what you want to, and that's true happiness in your life. So there will be a workshop that will be given to help all of this. This will be on the 18th of June at 8 p.m. on a Zoom webinar. So you can all sign up, you can all be able to address this. And when you come along, you know, bring your notepads and your papers and your pens, because there'll be lots of things for you to take down and also take with you. So at the moment, we can't give you all these things, but what I can do is just to give you very small things at the moment for you to achieve, to help you from now till then. Now, some of you are working, some of you are not. Some of you are out of uncertainty. Some of you aren't doing much, maybe because you're furloughed or you're off of work, and maybe you've lost your job. Now, this just one thing, that may be an end, but there's always a new beginning. There's always an answer to everything. So things sometimes end, but there's always a new opportunity, a new thing that's going to come to you. It just depends on if you have a boulder in front of you, but the boulder is only your mind. So just at the moment, what we need in our lives are key objectives, targets, goals. So what you need to do at the moment is just set yourself minor goals, just mini things, minor steps, very tiny steps. And every day, maybe you write down in your week that you want to achieve certain goals in your week. So just little things. This helps people to get out of bed in the morning. You won't be sleeping as much. You won't be tired all the time, because the less you do, the less you want to do. It all goes to self-esteem or low self-esteem. So set yourself little targets every day and set yourself goals that you achieve them. So many steps. But these things will help your happiness a lot. The next thing is to help your mind. The key factor, like I said about the lolly stick, the mind controls your body, not the other way around. So your mind creates thoughts, it creates feelings, emotions, yes? You're not your thoughts, you're not your feelings, but it creates them. And too much emotions and too many thoughts start to accumulate, and then something breaks. So look after your mind. How do you look after your mind? Join us every week. We do Twin Hearts meditation. So meditation is one mechanism or one key factor. Now the Twin Hearts meditation has been scientifically validated with a study that was created, and they noticed over this length of study that people reduced their stress, emotions, fears, anxieties were dramatically reduced by doing this all the time. So at this time particularly and the future, if you learn the Twin Hearts meditation, which takes less than half an hour a day, you do this every day, you'll be amazed how much you're keeping your mind in check. You're lowering the frequencies of thoughts and emotions that can be created, of which, the same thing for me, which I've done so many times. And by repeating the Twin Hearts regularly, you stop your mind from overthinking. So low self-esteem doesn't plummet further down. Control the mind. Help to control your mind. The next thing to do, mini steps again, is to help yourself with helping other people. There's a saying, my teacher, Master Choco Ksui, always said, the cure for depression is helping other people. So looking after your mind is, if you're furloughed or you're at home a lot, seek to help your neighbours out or something, or help your community in certain ways. Look to volunteer somewhere. The more you help others, the less you're thinking of yourself. The less you think of yourself, the less the mind can create that negativity within you. Simple as that. So help other people. So again, a very, very good thing. Now these simple little things can help you tremendously. So set mini goals, do the Twin Hearts meditation and join us every week. You can go on a Zoom, you'll be able to see it on our website, and join us every week for this on our pranichealing.co.uk, and also help other people. It's very, very important. So what we're going to do, as we said, self-development is a key factor in all areas of your life, your health, your relationships, your finance, spiritual development. We're all spiritual. Every one of us, whether we realize it or not, we're all going that way. So once you know the inner truths, the inner secrets to all of this, you can gain happiness long term. You can gain your success with all of the needs that you require long term, and they're sustainable. Okay? So join us on the 18th of June at 8 p.m. Okay, the link will be on the Facebook and on our website. So join us for then, and we will help you tremendously for your future. Okay, and as I said earlier, there's always an answer to every question for every person. And if you use these techniques and these self-help tools, then life will improve tremendously, not just through these times, but for a very long time in your future. Thank you for joining me. See you again very soon.